Today on Derek Does, we're doing this. Hi everybody, welcome back to another Derek Does. Today we are returning to my mega military haul from my previous couple videos ago, and this is another item. I'm going to be showing you a lot of the items I got in more in detail than I did then. So if you want to check out everything I got, check my previous video. But today we're going to be looking at this. This is the Army Overcoat. This is in the OG 107 color, which ironically I was reading about it, is the longest running color for the US military in the history of the US military, of one color throughout all sorts of different, jackets and field jackets and pants and everything like that. But this is what this is. This is an overcoat. These came out in the early 50s for the Korea War, when we needed that. And this one is from 1962. They kind of phased these out in the 60s and 70s and then kind of replaced it. I guess you'd probably go with an M65 or something like that past that point. But these are really nice. They're really kind of heavy and thick. It's a cotton sateen on the outside, and then this one has the original liner with it that's removable like most of the military stuff, and it just buttons in. And again, we'll go through, I'll show you the close-up details of everything like that. This one's a small regular, and it is dated at least the liner is dated 1962. I'm assuming that the actual overcoat is also 1962. There's no name, there's no Army on it, but it does have the 7th Army right here, also referred to as the 7 Steps of Hell. So that's kind of fun. So this is definitely, this was, everything I picked up was from a Korea veteran, I'm pretty sure. And then he continued his Army career throughout the 60s and the early 70s. And I have jackets and such to show things he picked up and saved along the way. This is in really nice shape. I don't think this one was actually worn that much either. Much similar to that M51 fishtail from my past video. This actually, it looks like there was a insignia. I think it was just that Army insignia here on the right shoulder. It kind of looks like that classic, from that time period. But I'm going to show you this. I'll put it on. It does fit me, even though it's a small regular. Again, these were made to go over top of everything, so it's a little, it's not snug, but I would probably want to go with a medium instead of a small, just for myself, just so if, if I've got a sweater on or something like that. And I'm sure if I took the liner out, it would be better. But for this purposes and everything, I'll put it on, show it to you, and you can take a look at it. Again, these were used throughout the 50s and the 60s, and were gone by the 70s. But this one's from 62. I'll show you all the details of this one, and I'll show you how it looks when you wear it. All right, so here it is. It is a long coat. It goes way past your knees. That's just how it is. It's made just this way. It's very comfortable to wear. I don't feel, it's a little short in the shoulders for me. I probably could go with a medium, but this one, is small, and it probably could have a little length on it, but just for feeling wise, it feels pretty good. And you have these big hand warmers. They're not lined with wool, but they're just regular hand warmers. But they also have like most trench coats, you can unbutton it and then get into your inner clothing too from the outside, so you don't have to unbuckle and everything like that. It's a double-breasted. It's got a buckle. It's one of the few military jackets that the U.S. has that actually has the buckle, like the Mackinac had that, the Jeep jacket. I showed you that. I like this belt because it's short and it doesn't like dangle around everywhere like a lot of jackets with belts. This is a short belt. It works really well. But here it is, as you can see. It's not a bad overcoat. I can see why people like these, because it's obviously warm, keeps your legs warm too. You've got the belt to keep wind coming up. You can fold that over, put your collar up. It's nice. It's nice. And it looks pretty good too. It doesn't look too military. But it has a little bit of a military, or at least an outdoor feel to it, but it's nice. So here it is. As you can see, it's in really nice shape. There's not really a fading. It's never been washed. I don't think it really was worn that much, maybe just a little bit, really. You know, when you look at this, this is that patch that comes with it. That's the 7th Army. And then over here, what I was talking about, you can see just the faint, I think that was that Army patch they used way back in the day. I didn't see any name or U.S. Army or anything like that, but that's what that is. You've got the classic green buttons for, you know, it's a double-breasted basically. Here's your cuffs. It just has an overpiece there. There's no other button there. It's just for looks, really. And then inside you can see this is part of the, like I said, you do have another one there. I'm sorry. I didn't see it there. I thought it was over here. So you can adjust it. I didn't think it was just for looks. That'd be kind of crazy. So that's what that is. You can adjust that, and that's your liner inside that actually buttons also to the jacket, like an M65 or any liner really, any military liner, so it doesn't slide in and out. You have 2 epaulets. Those are not sewn all the way down, so you can open those up if need be. Really nice to go over, and then you can also pop the collar if you need to, and that collar has a little flap there that you can button there to really get a nice wind seal over time. Now over here you have your pockets, and they're buttoned also, and they're really nice and deep to get in there. I'll show you the tag in a minute. And then inside there, you can see there's another button, and then you can use that, so you unbutton that, and now you have access into the actual whole jacket. So that button actually is a 2-part. It holds this piece down, but it also holds that piece down. And you have that on both sides. Now on the back, here's your back, classic military look. You've got a split here with a button that you can open up if you wanted this all the way. If you're doing a lot of sitting, or maybe you're riding a motorcycle or something like that and you want that open, you could do that. Or you could pull this down and it will be a nice, keep the wind and everything like that, keep it together. The inside is actually one piece. So even though it's open, it's not really that open. You have here, that's just for your belt. See how that works? That goes right through there. So your belt's here, that way you don't lose your belt. It's got a bit of a styling here as it pulls it in, just to give it a, you know, more of a crisp military look, I guess. And then on the inside, it has a liner, and this is the liner that buttons in. And this is wool up to here. And then up here is wool also, but they put a, like a silk, it's not silk, it's probably rayon lining, so that keeps it off. You don't get itchy, you know, as you're wearing it above your waist. So that's on both sides. And then this is the tag for the liner itself, and that's a small regular. And it's Overcoat 18 OG 107 with removable liner, and 1962 from that. So if you look at these, you can read that. So, you know, it's not too bad. It's 60% wool, nylon, and then cotton. And up here's the actual size tag for the actual jacket, or the overcoat up here. This is for the liner. Now, down here when I was showing you, this is the actual liner, or the actual coat. There you can see overcoat with removable liner. So it's basically the same thing. Also dated 62, and this is 62. So that's a nice match. This was all set. This is one set. This isn't just a piecemealed jacket. Sometimes you get those where your liner's from a decade before or after the actual jacket is. So, well, that's it. It's a nice, sharp-looking overcoat for the wintertime. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode on this overcoat from 1962 from the U.S. Army with the 7th Army patch on it. If you're interested in this sort of thing, if you like the looks of it, if you want to get one, there's great news because, well, this one's going to be up on eBay soon. But if it's not your size or is just not for you, for this particular one, you can pick them up for under $100 on eBay. And I see a lot of them out there. So with the liners and everything. So that's a great deal, really, when you think about what you're getting of a jacket that was made in the 60s where they used better material, US made. It just, everything's better on it because it was just made not in a Chinese factory. Nothing against Chinese factories, but this is I think better made than that. So you can pick these up for under $100. You can probably find the size you want. Let's say you're a large, but you want a long, you could probably find one of those. They're in different conditions, obviously. This one's in really fantastic condition. Others are a little more used, but you can find those, you can pick them up. They're pretty nice. So if this is your bag, you can find one pretty easy, I think. So hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned a little bit of it. Maybe you've never seen one of these, or maybe you've seen them but you didn't know what they were, or details of them. So hope it was something at least for you. I might try to do maybe 2 videos a week if I can of all the stuff I've been getting. So I'll try to do that for you guys so you have more content to watch. Hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next Derek Does.